Sorry, I was trying to get my dog. He doesn't want to come with me. I'm sorry about my hair. Should I put on a cat? Okay. I'll put on a cat. Wanna come? Come here. Let's go. Okay. Hello. You say hi, baby. Let me greet everyone and then I'll put on lipstick. Hi. Okay, baby. One second. Okay. Hi, everybody. Okay. Let me say hi to everyone. Oh, say hi first, baby. Say hi. Come on. Say hi. Okay. Let me say hi to everyone. And also close some of my screens because I have a lot of screens open. This is Debak. His name is Debak. And the truth is that a lot of the people here actually just want to see him, not me. Okay. Nadira, Hanako Grace, uh, okay. Um, Hanako Grace, Lisa Parker, Robin Bryce, Sarah, Angel Star, Seda, Gemini, Oriah, Seda, Lindsay, Maritz, Donna, Michelle, Norwegian Wood, Arlene Silver Star, Salmar, Denise, Michelle Maibel, Rana, Dodger Girl, Eliz, Angel Star on Twitch, Leah, Oriah, Emily D, Lisa Parker, Joyful One, Norwegian Wood Helena, Ozzy, Michelle Santiago, Rona, Beth, Bangluna, G, Jaylee, Moonchild, Heather Lynn, Lorena, also on Twitch, PZ48128, One, Share Your Love, Kathy, OSP, Bomac, Denise,
Genesis, Alina, Carla girl. Okay. Hi everybody. How are you all? What lipstick should we use today? Should we try this? My baby. I'm gonna apply some lipstick. Good? Okay. Should we put some of this? No. We'll try it later. Okay. Ah. So we have some stuff to talk about, and then we will talk about Vegas. Are you all excited for Vegas? I hope you are. Um, so I'll do. Thank you. So I'm actually starting to. Anyway, I'll discuss that later. So I'll talk about BTS first, and then we'll just do some updates. And then we'll talk about some of the things that they have revealed. They know about army narratives and what we can actually do. Um, and then some things about what happened in Stanford as well. And then we'll talk about some updates, industry updates, and then we'll talk about the case. Okay. All right. And then so I'll talk, and then if you have questions, I allotted about 30 minutes per topic. So after the question, we'll have like maybe a 10-minute conversation, answer, question and answer and stuff. Okay. All right. You're excited, but you can't go. Was I able? No. So I got home. It was, so I got home. What time did I get home? I don't know, like maybe 6 p.m. or past 6 p.m. maybe. I can't even remember. But by the time that I got home, because I came from a meeting, CK was sold out. Absolutely sold out. So what can you do? Right? Anyway, maybe I'll find something. I mean, we're driving to Vegas, we're not flying. So maybe I'll see some CK stores and check them out. Okay, what case? This is an update on the case of New Jeans and Min Hee Jin and Bang Shi. Okay, all right. So let's talk about BTS first, and then we'll talk about other things. Okay, so I'll do my presentation, and then whatever questions you have, we'll discuss that after. Do you have any tickets for Vegas? Donna, did you not get yours? Or you want more tickets for Vegas? If you want more tickets for Vegas, we do have some. There are still some people selling them. So why don't you email me, Donna? But you got yours, right? I emailed you yours already. Okay, so BTS has been announced as a guest finally. uh, do you have any tickets for LA? Genesis, yes, we do have tickets. Why don't you guys email me? Or go to Discord or our Patreon. Yes, there are some. And then you just ask. So people are going to give you the link to the list of emails of the tickets that we have, or I'll do them at the end of this live stream. I'll show you. Okay. Um, all right. So for Rolling Stones. So finally, AMA actually announced that BTS is going to do a special appearance. We don't know what that means. It could be them presenting an award, or they could just be attending it to receive the awards that they're going to be winning. I hope it's not just the video message, because that's an appearance too. But I hope that is not the only thing that they have, because that's like one of my concerns. When they said special appearance, I was like, are they going to be appearing physically? But it seems that they are, because they said live. So let's see, but it could also be live remote. But I am just hoping that they're going to be appearing there um in the venue live. I do have tickets. My mom has tickets, and I know that some of you will be um will be attending as well. So I'll see you guys there. Okay, so and as expected, as soon as CBS and the American Music Awards announced it, Absolutely nobody overreacted. As you can see from all the headlines, I think it was just like it in a matter of minutes. Everyone was announcing it. Rolling Stone, Billboard. It's like it feels like they actually announced they were going to be performing when they didn't. It's just literally a special appearance, but look at the headlines. So glad that nobody overreacted on their appearance at the AMA, but more than happy that I actually have tickets for the show because I mean I don't care even if they just walk in, wave to everybody, and then walk out. For me, it'll still be worth it. Okay, so special appearance. If you do want, I think there are some resale tickets, but I'm pretty sure the um, the regular tickets are already sold out. But if you do want some resale tickets, I think you can go to StubHub. There are some people that are selling theirs. And then for so that's the actual announcement, special appearance by BTS. Okay, and then here are some of the other performers: Billy Idol, Busta Rhymes, Hootie and the Blowfish. I kind of am looking forward to that. Of course, Cat's Eye, Keith Urban, New Kids on the Block. I guess I've never watched them perform live. Riley Green, Somber, Teddy Swims, Tiana Taylor, the Pussycat Dolls, 21 Pilots. So overall, I mean, personally, I'm sure that some of these performers, a lot of other people are actually looking forward to them. But for me, I'm looking forward to Hootie and the Blowfish, um, Cat's Eye, and then of course BTS. That's the only ones that No Kids on the Block because I've never seen them perform. So and then Hootie and the Blowfish, they haven't. I mean, I think they've been in hiatus for a really long time. So okay. Teddy Swims is a great singer. Okay. Maybe I'll check maybe, but for now, those are the only ones I'm excited about. But who knows? I mean, I'm going to be there for what 2 to 3 hours. I'll be listening to everyone that's going to be performing. Okay. So for everybody who has tickets, congratulations to us. I think they're going to be performing there. Now about music YT, who's very has always been very shady about BTS, tweeted this: BTS is the most awarded K-pop group at the American Music Awards with 11 wins. They actually are the most awarded Asian group, and they're actually, I think, the 11th most awarded act of all time with 11 awards at the American Music Awards. So just wanted to make sure that everyone knows that because there seems to be this habit of limiting BTS to K-pop, and it seems like it is a conscious effort to make sure that everyone calls them a K-pop act and not just an act or a pop act. So it's time that we change the narrative because it's getting old. Okay. And then of course the live viewing for Busan, to everyone who got their tickets. Congratulations. So June 13 in Busan, will be after Vegas. They're gonna head back to South Korea for the festa, and the live viewing will be available. I think May 28, if I'm not mistaken. So you do need to sign up so that you get updated, or you can just keep on visiting btsliveviewing.com. But if you go to btsliveviewing.com, it's going to ask you to sign up so that when it is available, you know, you get notified and then you can buy your tickets. So my mom and I are going to the cinema to watch it. Okay. So I never really tried seriously for a ticket simply because I've been to South Korea twice already in a span of 1 month. So I think that's enough. I am going to save my funds for if they ever have a concert in either the Philippines or Dubai, or um, if they do an encore in Wembley, I'll definitely go. So I'm saving or maybe even Singapore. If they have those, then I will go there and watch their concert. But for now, um, I'm happy with all the concert tickets that I have. Oh, am looking for concert tickets for day 3 and day 4 for LA, but I do want good seats. So not holding on to anything. I'm not gonna be buying just anything. I want good seats for day 3 and 4 of LA. Okay, so that would be June 12 and June 13 for the show, for the festa. And of course, this one of the funniest things I guess is that they did a live last night. The BTS, or four of the members did a live stream, and I think one of the funniest things is that they actually used the picture of Suga, but he's not in the live stream. Okay, so it was just funny. It was his picture that they're using, although he's not in the live stream. But the live stream is actually very funny, very enlightening. I'm going to discuss that in a bit. So I hope you enjoy the live stream. I know that there were some people who already, maybe some of your favorite translators already translated the live stream. It was like more than an hour long. Okay. Um, you were confused at first about this picture. I was like, why would they use Suga's picture? But it's BTS. Come on. And then SF MoMA already announced the dates as to when the tickets are going to be available. You can sign up on the site so that you get notified if when the tickets are already available. So for members, tickets are available August 4, and then for the public, the tickets are available August 11. And then there is a preview. If you become a member, there is a preview October 1 and 2. And you can go to SF MoMA to register or become a member if you want. Here is the announcement of the dates. My mom and I are going. So it is curated by RM. Ticket drop for members August 4, public August 11. So just in case you actually want to go and be a member, this is the pricing for membership. So I'm I don't know how much the ticket is going to cost. I do know that even if you become a member, you still have to buy tickets separate. So it's a separate. So you become a member, you pay for that, and then you pay for the actual exhibit to get inside this exhibit. But I think you can also not be a member and just buy the day ticket and the ticket for this one. Does that make sense? So whether you're not a member, you're actually going to be buying two tickets: the ticket for SF MoMA and then the ticket for this exhibit. Okay. So just to make sure that everyone understand, they have not revealed how much the day pass is going to be, or at least not for that day. I think it's about 65. I think the day pass, they might hike it up for the duration of the exhibit. I'm not sure. I'm speculating, but that is the bottom line. You buy two tickets, one for SF MoMA and then the other for the act for this exhibit to be able to go in. Okay. So head on to SF MoMA if you want to make sure that you get your preferred date. So that is their website, sfmoma.org. If you want to become a membership. If not, just go to the main site and then look for tickets. Okay, but it won't be available until August for the exhibit of RM. And then Vegas already posted something. So they're already starting to welcome armies. I know that some of you might actually be traveling today. I will head there tomorrow. So they said that once you land in the airport, you can go to level 2 of Terminal 1. Level 2 of Terminal 1 between C and D. It's a huge airport, by the way. And there is a photo op spot in there. So that is the photo op spot. You can find it between C and D, level 2, Terminal 1. But they're also setting up something in Terminal 3, and then they will be setting up more. Okay, have they left Stanford? I have no idea. Probably it's a private plane. So make sure, okay, Terminal 1, level 2, and then there's between C and D, and then there's also one in Terminal 3, and then they said they're gonna do more in the next couple of days. Okay. And then so here you go, the collection. Calvin Klein and Jungkook launched their collection. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to buy, primarily because I was in a meeting almost the entire day, half a day yesterday. And by the time that I got home, it was already sold out. At least online, it was already sold out. And so, sorry. um, also, there was a long line in Soho, south of Houston Street. This is in New York. So there's a long line. This goes around the block. So this was taken at around 10 a.m. They were already in queue. And I think right around 2 p.m. or 3 or something like that, they were already sold out of everything. So even if you actually made a trip to a physical store, early afternoon, they were already sold out. So I don't know if there are still other stores that has this available. But since we're driving tomorrow, I will certainly try to pass by some stores where the collection is actually available. And this is more stores, like this is Soho, but this is how it looks like basically outside their stores. Now this is the very first. So they posted, CK actually posted and announced it. Limited edition denim designed by Jungkook, the perfect baggy jean and trucker. Exclusive washes and custom hardware details on display. Jungkook for Calvin Klein is available now. And it was just the responses of armies. They're frying me. It's absolutely funny. Is the available now in the room? Because it's sold out so quick. Available now. Everything went sold out hours ago because they were late in actually posting the announcement. And then available now where it was if you go to their website, to their Twitter account and go to the comment section, armies are so funny. It's like they're going through the 5 stages of grief because they weren't able to get anything. Okay. And also, just as an FYI, this is the first time CK has actually co-branded. They have partnered with other brands, but this is the first time they're actually co-branding. This is the first time where they've allowed someone to actually violate their logo. So for those that are in marketing here or branding, you know how sacred a logo is, right? Like lawyers would literally get into fist fights into with anyone who violates the logo of a company. And this is the first time they've actually allowed it. So this is not your ordinary capsule collection. This is an actual collaboration between the two. And then if you go and watch the interview of Jungkook, he actually said that he was very much involved in the designing. He did many of the artworks, and then CK would go in and actually um, sort of refine some of the things that he's done just so it becomes more commercial, which is very, very common. But for the most part, they've actually retained his designs. And then he was also the one who chose the washes of the denim. So this is not an ordinary capsule collection where the brand would actually do the design and then the partner would just slap their name on it. He actually designed this one. And I think so. Wait, did I put anything here? Anything else? Okay, so this is the trend of the interest on CK once they drop the design. So they went up, as you can see in Google Trends right away. And it was all about it was specifically Jungkook. So it is actually his name that is being searched in relation to CK. And as you can see, that trend on May 19, that was yesterday when the collection dropped, right in the afternoon, when after they not in the afternoon, but on the 19th, when they dropped the announcement, you can see the spike of the searches. And again, it was CK in relation to Jungkook. So you can see that this is all driven by Jungkook's branding, not anything else. Okay. And then they have released many promotional materials. One of the things I think that surprised me was how much they keep on releasing materials when the collection is already sold out. I was like, what is this for? You should have at least released this before the collection was released. But one of which is there are bikers. So just go to their page, the CK page, because they've released a lot of materials, and make sure that you actually you share, and you leave a comment so that the MIV, the media value, would actually go up. Okay, in relation to Jungkook. And don't forget to mention Jungkook, of course, when you leave a comment and when you share. So that's your brand king, Jungkook. And so, all right. So that this is just an insight. This is most likely, you know, that in the last, I don't know, 7 years, 6 years, um, there is a constant struggle between foot traffic. So for those that are in retail, foot traffic would be people that are actually coming into your store, right? Because of COVID, culture changed on how people actually shop. So, and I mean, in LA itself, there have been countless of stores that have been closing because they're not getting enough foot traffic. Many of the stores, the traffic is shifting to online. Okay. But of course, when you're online, there are way more distractions when you're actually shopping. So if you're checking, for example, CK collection, someone else, Armani can actually push their advertising to you, H&M. So you're open to way more destruction. Yeah, distractions. And so the struggle of many brands, especially fashion brands, is how to lock you into their products. And I think one of the things that this collection actually prove is that this may actually be the direction of retail, that most likely fashion choices of people will be very much tied to their loyalty, their emotional attachment to the brand. Okay. So the emotional attachment to brands have always existed. That's why a lot of people are loyal to Apple. For example, Apple phone. Some people are very, very loyal to Levi's or to PC or whatever. So some are very loyal to Whole Foods, and so it's always so emotional attachment to brands have always existed. But um, because of the choices that are being presented to everyone right now, and also the culture of pre-loved items that have already been owned by someone else, and then you can just rent that. That's also interrupting retail industry. So one of the things that this case, that the Jonko collection actually proved to the fashion industry, and I will be presenting some of the initial reaction to his collection, to the member live stream, because they're still preliminary, so I can't broadcast it to everybody. Okay, so one of the things that they learned is that the attachment is not going to be with the brand per se, but with personalities that are attached to the brand. So the brand ambassadorship industry in the fashion industry will really be very, very different. So and that is going to dictate how many brands, how brands are going to be moving forward with their brand partnerships. So there are I don't know if you know Michelle Fe, I think is the name, Michelle Fe. She was actually one of the earliest influencers on YouTube. She was into beauty, so makeup and stuff like that. She was the very first influencer who had her own brand. So she had her own collection with Maybelline. I think she was the very first one. So from there, many brands started partnering with influencers, right? And that's fine. It's just that you are still very much limited to the niche of that influencer. As opposed to partnering with someone like Jungkook or BTS and some other BTS and BTS other BTS members and some other K-pop idols, they have a very loyal following, and then it's a broader one. Okay. So this is going, most likely, at the very least, this is where brands are going to start heading to. They're going to start partnering more with different celebrities that have a loyal following, and then they'll develop lines with them. So just like what Jungkook did. So I think in about probably 4 to 2 years, we're going to see more of this happening. My hope is that Jungkook will actually launch a regular line the same way Rihanna has hers with Fendi. Um, Now the advantage of Rihanna is that she was able to tap into a product that was really needed by the market, right? At least as far as I understand it, I'm not involved in that in the development of that, not even remotely. I mean, I don't even know anyone that was involved in the development of her line in Fendi. But as far as I understand, one thing that she got right was that at that time there weren't a lot of makeup who was catering to the African American skin, right? Because of the shades. So it was very hard for them. So if we have African Americans here, maybe you can confirm this, that they found it very hard to find shades that would accommodate um the tone of their skins, their complexion. So Rihanna, yes, for darker skin tone. Okay, so I guess what my friends told me was correct. So she was first in there. She created different tones or shades, I guess is what you call it, different shades for the darker skin. So okay, so Joyful One said confirming it is correct. So I'm hoping that was her biggest advantage, and that's why she's the leader in that market, because she was the first and they put money in it. It wasn't that there was no one trying to accommodate that skin tone, but Fendi was the one who really developed a very good quality makeup line for the darker skin. So my hope is that she, like JK and for every member of BTS, finds that niche where they could create a product that is not offered yet to the market but is needed, just like the makeup line, the foundation for Fendi. So something like that is what I'm hoping he would land on, Jungkook. So because coming out with collections of shirts and biker jackets and pants, those are good ones, right? But many are doing that already. So I think something like this would be good for emotional, not emotional, but seasonal releases. But if we want the Rihanna route, how she actually made it big, I think it would be good if he can find, or and every member of BTS could find, like that one thing that the market needs, but no one is providing yet. Okay. Once Fenty did that, the other lines followed. Correct. Yeah, that I know. That after they released it, then more actually started coming in. I am Gigi said, yes, I am black. Carla girl, Tear Tear had really good shade match, at least for me, Bang Luna said. Well, my daughter has a darker skin than mine, than I do, sorry. And she found a really good shade not in Fenty, but in Tear Tear. Okay. And then we all know, the boys actually revealed that Suga went on to join a marathon on the morning of their concert of all time. Okay, and so he ended so the overall is that he was in the top 1100. So 1022. That's his place. So that's his final time, overall time, 1 hour, 4 minutes, and 43 seconds for 10 kilometers. So I would say not bad. That is 8 minutes per mile. Um, Considering I would drop dead at right around the first minute. So I think it's pretty good. So this was not even the half marathon. I think this is the quarter marathon. So but 1022. So congratulations to Suga. He did join the marathon and he was photographed. This is one of the pictures that someone posted when he was there. That's him. And I think what's good was that the only time this spread was after the boys actually mentioned, the members actually mentioned that he did join the marathon. After that, like pictures were uploaded after the members mentioned it. But before that, I already saw some people posting it, but there were others who were saying, it's a public event, okay, and he wasn't doing. It's not like it's a private thing; it's a marathon. So I thought when people started uploading the pictures, I said I think it's okay. I mean, it's a marathon, it's a public event. It's like they're not. It's not doing anything overly private. It was just running the marathon. So I thought it was okay. But still, some armies were sort of warning those that posted pictures and kept on saying, like, can we wait until they actually mention this before we post it? And then after the members mentioned it, then the pictures actually started coming. So this is one of the many pictures. And there were some videos too, if you want to search on Facebook and IG and X. Okay. So there were some pictures of him actually running. Where is security? He was beside John. So there's another guy wearing black. Who was beside him. So yeah, it was a fun run. It was a fun run. It was a fun run. It could be probably filming for an episode of Run BTS, considering he has a camera on his chest. So yeah, it could be that he was actually he was filming it. Yeah, but the security was right. The security was with him. It was right beside uh Sugar. And as I've said, I'm very picky as to what to post, but it's a marathon, it's a fun run. He was with thousands of people. He was just running. So I thought it was okay. I think it was okay to post. But I still appreciated some of the armies who were telling other people, can you at least wait for them to announce it? So, but I thought it was okay. It's a fun run. So, okay. I was thinking this might be around BTS. It could be around BTS content because when Jimin was about to say that he joined the marathon, he looked at the staff and he was like, "Should I say it?" So I thought, oh, maybe he's shooting something. Okay, all right. So he finished 1022. Okay, before I go into the things that BTS mentioned, is there any question, any comments? They said he filmed a vlog. I wonder what Mr. Lee thought. I think he had two more run with him. Um, Are they doing another documentary? Probably. Probably. I think at this point I would expect that they are probably going to be releasing a documentary after the tour. The weather was great for the run as well. Oh, great. Who is going to tell him no? I can't run for more than 10 minutes. I get bored. Great work, Yunki. So just as a tip, I walk. I don't run. I just have a machine here and I walk. And usually I walk while I'm watching something, whether it's Run BTS or interview of BTS members. I usually do it while I'm doing something else. So I don't get bored. So maybe you want to try that out. Now I can't run, otherwise I won't be able to do anything else. Well, I guess I can watch, but um, walking allows me to type. Like if I'm preparing for researching for an episode of one of my videos, then at least I can actually type. Okay. Any other question? Why is Yoongi allowed to do these things before a concert? I don't think anybody can stop him. Yoongi is so special to look at. That's unheard of before the concert. Um, that's I think Jin did it. He went to a theme park before a concert before, or it could be before, after the concert. But Jin, I think, has actually done an outing right before the concert. But why don't they do their own brand? JK doesn't need CK. J Hope doesn't need HM. It's like he's just making money for CK as their brand ambassador, but that's it. So usually, okay, so this is a good question actually. So when they do a collection, they do get a percentage of the sales outside of the one-off money that they get as a brand ambassador. When it comes to something like this, especially because he designed this, he co-owns this line, so he gets a portion of the income. So why doesn't he do just his own brand? I think one of the things that we like us armies probably should realize by now is that one of the hardest things to do is distribution. It's very, very hard to distribute because you do need to set up physical offices. If you want to do it direct, you do need to set up physical offices in the countries where you want to distribute. And just getting permits, you're dealing with red tape, you're dealing with labor law, you're dealing with different laws in every country. How, like, for example, what are the basic return policies? What are the fees that we need to pay? How are we going to make sure that the prices are just parity? Primarily because you don't want CK shirts in the Philippines be half the price as the CK shirts in the US. You kind of want it to be the same price, right? But then the fees are the labor, labor costs. They're very, very different. So um, it sounds easy to say that just launch your own brand, and you are correct that he would probably make more money doing it that way. But then you're going into so much logistics that at the end of it, is it worth, for example, for JK, is it worth, if what he loves doing right now, just like what he said, is to do music as of now, that's his priority. Is it good for him? Like, is it an advantage for him to do it himself when he can tap into a company who already has all of these resources, infrastructure in place, and then they take care of everything. They take care of the legal stuff of it, the distribution, looking into the sourcing of the materials. And at the end of the day, if he takes on all of this, he will still end up paying for all of that, right? With this, he's just passing on the cost to CK. So where he is right now, the question is this worth doing considering his priority is music? So maybe in the long run, doing it himself would probably be the way to go. But because he has always repeated that his priority is his music, then I think doing it this way for him, at least from where he is, would be the way to go. He's going to earn right around the same money anyway. Um, and he has less headaches with this one. Okay. Okay, now let's go and talk about what BTS have disclosed in their live stream. Okay, my dog is gonna say bye bye. I say bye bye first. Tell them I'm gonna see you in Vegas. I'm gonna see you. I'm gonna see you. Say bye bye. Okay. Okay. So um all right. So he earns per piece here. That I think that's the bottom line. He's not just getting paid as an ambassador because this he co-designed this. So another one who has a deal like this would be in BTS. It would be J Hope. He co-created the shoes for LV, so he has that same deal. Maybe human made. I'm not sure, but it could be. He probably got residuals for human made as well. I'm talking about J Hope. Um, the Angel Sent for Lador for Jimin. I think that's it. Is it anybody else who co-created? I think for now, yeah, I think so. Definitely the shoes for J Hope. This one probably human made for J Hope. The Lador Angel Sent for Jimin. Yeah. Okay. They get residuals from those. Okay. So um when I was watching the live stream last night, um I just realized that they're and in the other live streams that they've done, I realized that they really, and this is not something that they've denied. They've repeatedly said, or at least at the very least implied, that they actually see what armies are talking about our narratives, the trends, if we say something, if we keep on wishing for something, they actually know about it. They are way more into the fandom than we usually give them credit for. To a certain degree, I guess I don't want to call it like that naivete sort of allows armies to be more spontaneous in the things that we say, but also on, uh, I guess, on the other side of it is that then we could be saying things that we shouldn't probably let them hear, right? There will always be some immature armies that would say things that they don't have to hear, right? That things that they preferably they don't hear. And because armies don't really think about how deeply embedded BTS is in the fandom, as I've said, the tendency is for them to just be careless about it. They'll just say it regardless. Um, and I think it's about time that we practice a little bit more tact and be a little bit more proactive in reporting accounts that are just being irresponsible in the narratives that they spread. Okay. So several years ago, uh, RM sort of mentioned some things on his live stream that shocked a lot of armies because he essentially was repeating things that armies were saying online. And these were fun things. This specific moment, he actually said some fun things, and armies were like, "Oh my God, he knows about it." So people were like, "If he knew about it, then what else does he know? If he knows about this specific thing, then what else does he know?" Was basically the question. And armies were sort of joking about um, RM having a snitch online because he mentioned that some of his friends would send him some things, would forward some things to him. That's how he learns. And so they were like, then he has a snitch on X. At that time, I think it was still Twitter, or maybe not. He has a snitch on X. He has a snitch on Instagram, Facebook, and maybe even Weavers. So, and they focused on Sleepy. So they were like, it's Sleepy. Um, Primarily because I think he commented on something, and then eventually RM sort of mentioned that thing that he commented on, that to the point. So armies were like, "Oh, Sleepy, you have to stop telling you have to stop like a lot of armies were sending him messages telling him to stop telling RM the things that armies are talking about." He actually went public and denied it. So he said that he's definitely not the snitch. um he does not tell RM things about the narratives of armies or what we're talking about. And he said that, if it is someone we can guess, basically is what he said. If it is someone we can guess who, then RM would probably not mention it. So he said it's not him. He's not the snitch. So up to now, we still don't know who the snitch is. But then most likely it's just RM also being very, very much embedded on army tweet. And then even before, in the early days of Jungkook actually going online to do live streams, there was one specific live stream when armies online were telling him to check out the wife of Shim Yung Shim Yun Tak. He's an actor and he's married to this girl who looks exactly like Jungkook. She's like the female version of Jungkook. And then Jungkook on the live stream actually said, "Oh, I already saw her. Like, yes, she does look like me." Meaning, even before that live stream, when they were telling him to look at her to check her out, her picture, he already knew that people were talking about him looking like her. So it means that he has been reading about what armies are talking about. Um, so this girl already has a baby who, so she looks like Jungkook, and his baby looks like Jimin. If you look at the baby, he looks like Jimin. How on earth did that happen? Okay, so that's another one. All this would also add up to RM's probably insomnia. And then, if you would remember that episode when they created clothes that were crazy, I think they did a photo shoot after. They designed clothes and then crazy clothes, and then they did a photo shoot after. Not Jin did this. Jin did this jumping pose, and then RM online during the episode actually said, "Army, can you please Photoshop Jin?" And Jin said, "Don't stop! Don't ask him to do that because they will. They actually will do different edits." And armies did. The armies actually went to town and started doing edits of him. There's a lot more outside of this, but this is one of those funny ones where he was actually where people started putting wings on him to make it appear as if he's flying. Um, and then I think after that, he actually went online to talk about it or mentioned something on Weverse or something about Army's edit or V Live maybe at that time. So again, proof that they know that armies like doing edits. They know that we like having fun. We turn them into memes. They're very very much aware. Okay, and then J Hope right after he was discharged from the military. He was doing a live stream and he was talking about the things that he has prepared. And he was nodding and he said that, you want me to go on tour, right? Like, just wait, you want me to go on tour, right? He repeated it several times. And I remember at that time, like, we were all manifesting a tour for him. So, like, every day when people log in, they were like, we hope J Hope actually goes on tour. And he was like, you want me to go on tour, right? So he knows. Another proof that they are very much aware of army narrative. So he knows that. Okay. Another one was Jin actually mentioning the theory. So we had different theories about the Arirang logo, if you would remember. And even when I was doing theories, I told you guys that I know I'm wrong. I don't care. I just really wanted to be able to bring the narrative back to BTS. Like, I want people to start talking about their art, right? Even if we all get it wrong, for as long as the focus is on their art, I think that's a good thing. So people started coming out with theories about the logo of BTS, the Arirang logo. And people were like, oh, it actually looks like hello. Like, if you tilt your head and read it, it kind of looks like hello. And then in that live stream that they did in the LA beach, that was when Jin kept on saying hello, hello. So armies connected that. They said that there might be something in there, maybe a song title called Hello. And then they addressed it in their live stream and said that, oh, you guys thought that it was something special, that it was a hint or something. And Jin actually laughed about it and said, I was just really saying hello, but you guys made something out of it. But I just really wanted to say hello. So again, they know. I mean, there were so many theories about the Arirang logo when it first came out, and it seems that they know all about it. They mentioned in the live stream that they saw many of the theories. It's just that they focused on that one because Jin kept on laughing about it. So again, proof that they actually know what we're talking about. Okay. Um, that's why some armies need to call it with policing others when they make fun of the boys in a loving but funny way. They take it too seriously while the boys just see comedy in it. Yeah. And then here's one actually last night. I'll get to that. So last night, RM talked about the credit card story where he said that he gave his credit card to the junior members of his battalion, of his group in the troop, not group, the troop in the military. And he told them, buy whatever it is that you want. And they came back with a $600 $600 bill charged to his card, and they were like apologizing to him. And so um there were a lot of armies that made an issue out of it, saying that, and of course they were laughing about it, including RM. And a lot of armies were saying like, oh, they took advantage of him or whatever. Okay. So honestly, I don't think RM, first and foremost, everybody was laughing. when he was telling the story, including him, right? Including him. He was laughing about it. And he was telling the story very, very excitedly. I think that's undeniable. Second is that I think if he had real issue about it, he wouldn't have told the story, right? Because he wouldn't shame anybody. RM is not like that. I don't he doesn't seem to be the kind of person. Actually, I'm pretty sure he's not the kind of person that would shame people about it. Next is that RM is not stupid. I think that's what that's I'm more sure of that than anything. When he gave that card, he probably knew that they were going to rack up like 2 grand in bills. Uh, eh, and so and those the serum that he was talking about is worth like a dollar, sometimes 99 cents or $1.99 or something like that. So I think he actually found it funny. Like he was laughing. Jimin was laughing. And remember that even Jin actually said that he spent all of his like his earnings from the military. He spent all of his earnings from the military feeding people in the military, his troop. Like whenever he would get his paycheck from the military, he would just take people out to eat. And sometimes even when he hasn't had his paycheck yet, he would just like almost every weekend, he said he would take people out to eat. So I think that's what he meant. He found it funny. The $600 would probably be how was the earnings that he got from the military, which we know is it's not even loose change for them. So no, I don't think he thought people were taking advantage of him. I thought that he thinks, but at least for me, I think he found it funny. But of course, armies, some toxic armies actually found it and do remember that whatever it is that we said, they're going to be reading. I think that is the assumption that we should have from now on. Whenever there's a prevailing narrative online, we need to assume that we will know about it. I mean, I think Jungkook regularly asking the drone to come to him so that he can hold it and then shoot his bandmates. I think it's because he knew that army found it fun. Like we liked it, so he just started doing it. And so I think whatever it is that we say, and do remember that RM actually became close with his troop in the military. So these are people that they care about, it's people that they interact with, and if we demonize these people and these are actual people that they get in touch with, that they have a relationship with, how do you think BTS will feel about it? I think that's another question that really need to start thinking about when we post. We need to assume whatever it is that we post, they will read or will get to them in one way, in some form or another. Okay. Um, okay, so let's continue. And then in the last concert last night for Stanford, he did say in his last ment, RM said in his last ment, he said that I'm sorry for putting too much pressure on you in the last 2 days. It's just that I really wanted to have genuine fun. And he said that you did well actually in the second part of his ment. He said to the audience on day 3 that you actually did well, better today than yesterday. Okay, so I think RM knows about um, people's obsession about taking videos of the members, but it's getting in the way of them interacting with armies. If there's anything that I appreciate in the early days of BTS going on concerts, like during the Love Yourself tour, even phones were still down. Even during the Love Yourself tour, it wasn't as bad as now. Like there were actually times when you would see like a whole section not having their phones up, and I hope that we can go back to that because that was the most fun set of concerts when people were just vibing with them. And they've also repeatedly made a request during the concert for people to put their phones down. Um, in the last interview of Jungkook, if you haven't read it or watched it in the Harper Magazine interview that he did, he was asked during live performances, is there a moment even more overwhelming than winning awards? And he said, when armies sing along, I feel really emotional. And there are many times I almost cry. So um, let's remember that they know when our armies are making an effort to connect with them online, offline. So I hope we can put our phones down during concerts. And this is why I say, let's just let the fan bases to do it, right? Each member has their own fan base whose lone purpose in life is to capture beautiful moments of the artists, and they never fail. Okay, so let them do it. Let them do it. Let's just enjoy the moment. Um, and then, so the reason I actually put this here is because this is connected to the fan bases. There was someone who posted a picture of a fan base who had this long camera, like big ass camera. She was holding it and taking a picture of a member. So so anyway, so she was sort of shaming this girl for having her camera um and not enjoying the concert. That's what she says. She wasn't enjoying the concert. And I'm like, well, you are not enjoying the concert either because you're taking a picture of her, taking a picture of BTS members. So if you just mind your own business, you can enjoy the concert and then look up the pictures that they're going to be publishing later and enjoy that. Um, so it's so hypocritical that so many people would bash these fan bases and then do it themselves. Like they would have their phones up and then start recording. So why not just let these fan bases, because that's their purpose in life. That is the purpose that they have chosen for them, for themselves. They want to take beautiful pictures of the members, put it online and give it to everybody for free. So that's what they want to do. So let them do that. Why can't we just leave them alone for as long as they're not sassings? Leave them alone and we can just enjoy the concerts. And let us remember that every member has their long time fan bases and they know these people. I think by now we should kind of notice that. For example, V constantly acknowledges Nuna V, who at some point has been branded a sassing. But V himself would acknowledge her. He would smile at her camera. He signs all of her cameras, absolutely all of her cameras. V has signed them, which means that V is cool with her. And I would assume that the staff constantly monitor these fan bases. Correct. Yeah, Jimin and Jungkook has Black and White. J-Hope has Adonis. So why don't we leave these fan bases alone? And these people actually they would hire other people to take pictures too. So for example, this is a 360 stage. I know that Nuna V and Adonis and Black and White have someone in each corner, in each side that would take pictures to make sure that no matter where they are, they would be able to capture the moment. So why don't we, this members, so why don't we just leave them to it, let them take the pictures? They're giving it away for free anyway. The only condition that they have, like, for all these fan bases, the only condition that they have is don't replace their watermark. If you're going to repost their pictures or videos or use it for whatever purpose that you have, don't replace their watermark. That's the only thing that which I think is pretty fair. So this the members know these fan bases. They've acknowledged them many times, many times. They've acknowledged them in front of 50,000 people in multiple concerts. If and BTS is very much aware. So remember the premise. They're very much aware of the narrative of armies. So they know when we're bullying somebody. When an army gets bullied, they know. Okay. No, they're not selling it. They publish it all the time. The ones that I'm talking about, Nuna V, Adonis, Black and White, Slow Starter, Sugar. Forget the one that's of Sugar. It'll come to me. They don't sell it. So the, the members have made it a point to acknowledge these fan bases in front of 50,000 people in multiple concerts. Not just one, but multiple concerts. V is probably the one that's most friendly to Nuna V because he would constantly really go in front of her so that she can take a beautiful picture. And Black and Jimin and Jungkook to Black and White. Actually, all of them. So they know when these fan bases are getting bullied. Remember, they know everything that we do. So if they are acknowledging these fan bases, I think it's time for us to leave them alone, to allow just leave them to take the beautiful pictures so that we can enjoy the moment. They're doing the hard work. We know that we can catch, especially in this 360 stage, we will not be able to catch each member because they're always dispersed in every corner. Then we can count on these fan bases to take videos and pictures of these members, and we can just enjoy the moment, who's ever in front of us. Okay. All right. Next, Bang Luna said it's past 7. So they also and then this is Jimin actually saying that the energy of the audience actually affects them. So he said that when people are dancing, he gets energized by it. When people are singing, when armies are cool, he also feels cool. Then he can dance better. So this is them saying, um, please, respond, respond to us during the concert. How did they sneak in the camera in there? So, as far as my understanding goes, several fan bases actually are known to big hit, and so they actually are able to bring in their cameras. So, for example, I think I mentioned this during the members only live stream. So there were some, so I went around when I was in Goyang. I actually went around instead of going to whatever. I went around the stadium because the entrances are actually dispersed across the in different corners of the stadium. So I went around and saw there were really some people who had cameras with them and they were just going in. And so I asked Korean armies and they said, "Oh, they're Big Hit knows them. They're the fan bases." So that's, I think it's how they're able to bring in all those great cameras because they Big Hit knows them and they are allowed to bring in those cameras. They acknowledge army voting in AMAs. And that's why last night I knew that they were going to attend because the way J Hope reacted to RM when he said, when he mentioned RM, J Hope was like, hmm? You're really going to say that? But anyway, he said that, armies voted really hard. He saw the campaign, he acknowledged the campaign. And so he said that, it would be nice if it actually results. I guess what he's saying is that it would be nice to if they actually win because he knows how hard armies actually worked. As long as they don't block my view, I don't care. They're very careful. Surprisingly, they're very careful about it. They make sure that um, nobody's view actually gets blocked. I think I mentioned to you that this woman in the Guangwamon and his and her husband, they were the ones that are blocking the view of armies behind them. But this fan basis, there was one right in front of me. I think she's Black and White. But so she had a long camera. And I think the other girl right in front of me is a fan base of V. um they were very careful, like when they were taking pictures they make sure that it's just really within their frame, that they're not disturbed, but as opposed to this woman who kept on putting her camera up anyway. So they acknowledge armies voting for AMA, the campaign that we did. And then V's tattoo, which I think is one of the most telling he's ever done. So he mentioned that he said like, oh, Jimin lifted my shirt and showed my tattoo. And Jimin was like, "Oh, I did." And he said, "I'm sorry." He said, V said, "No, it's okay." In fact, he said last night, he said that that was when the moment that Jimin actually lifted his shirt, and he said that, "Oh, it's okay. I actually posted on Twitter," and he demonstrated how he posted it on Twitter. I posted it like this without my shirt on. That's what he said last night. And so he soft launched the tattoo. Okay. And the funny thing is that this is him formally launching his tattoo, the one on his back, right? This is him announcing it to the world. Of course, indirectly, because meaning he didn't verbally say it, but this is him launching his tattoo to the world. And then the discourse is that, so he said, "Oh, you pulled my shirt like this," and Jimin said, "I'm sorry, it's okay. I already posted it on IG." And and then Jimin said, "They knew about it. I did, like, Army already knew about the tattoo." And Taeyong said, "Yeah, nobody knew, even though I posted it on IG. They thought it was something was actually stuck there. So I even took a picture like this and he demonstrated. And nobody realized it was a tattoo. They were like, Taeyong, there's something on your back," which was really super funny. So this is people are theorizing that this is the tattoo, that artwork is the tattoo, and he got it the same day J-Hope got his tattoo on his leg. And then, so this was the discourse online when he soft launched the tattoo. So someone mentioned, "Oh, Taeyong has a back tattoo," and this is the Army saying, "I don't think it's a tattoo. I think he has a bruise or something." Because it was never there before, as if you cannot get a tattoo after. So V was actually making fun of it. He was like, "Well, I actually told everybody. Nobody wanted to believe when I showed it to them." Okay, so he knew. He knew that people did not believe what they were seeing. It's funny that V stands were coming at Jim and talking about privacy, but V shared his tattoo pic. I think armies are just so slow. Like, come on. So this is this is the day when he got his tattoo. It was the same day. J Hope actually said, "Oh, he got a tattoo with me. When I got mine, he also got his." And then V actually said that he needs it retouched. So it is a tattoo. We don't know exactly what it is. Someone enhanced it and they think it is that picture. Let's see. He's probably gonna post it again someday. So let's see what it is going to be. Okay. There is a higher resolution tattoo. Yes. So there, but that I think was a AI enhanced. So some said it is a writing, some sort of a writing. Some said it is that picture. Let's see. I think he's gonna post it again. He's gonna make it very clear. People are gonna ask, right? Armies are gonna ask. And then RM actually mentioned Legolas. So he said that Jimin actually started, kept on doing a Legolas on the show. And then we know that this is now a popular discourse, a popular, like, discussion online, that he starts turning into Legolas. So I remember posting about it. I'm not saying that I started it. I'm sure there were many others who actually started comparing him to Legolas. But anyway, I posted about it on the 27th. And then after that, Jimin actually said that, "You keep on sending me AI edits of me with long hair." So he knows. He knows. And there are many AI edits of him with long hair. This is one of them. So they would use AI to edit him and make him Legolas or make his hair longer. Okay. And he's done it before. In fact, his tattoo was a fan art and then eventually it turned into AI. So this is another discourse, because I know that people, when you do something, when you manipulate something on Photoshop, that's AI. Okay? So no, the minute that you touch something in a photo, that's AI. And armies still keep on going after people who uses AI to enhance things. My view is that for as long as you're not passing a picture, number one, it shouldn't be malicious. It shouldn't be indecent. It shouldn't claim that that's the member, right? But if, for example, they're doing this, making his hair longer because they want to see how he looks like with that long of a hair, I think it's okay. So can we at least pick and choose what it is that we're going to condemn and what it is that we're going to let go? Obviously, editing his hair to look longer, something like this, is fine. It's just sometimes armies get too much. Obviously, BTS themselves see it and they don't see anything malicious in it. What is malicious is if you sexualize them, if you imply that they went on a date with someone they didn't go on a date with, or if you put them in a place they've never been with, or you put hikis on this on those are malicious. But editing his hair to be this long is fine. Editing him to make him look like an elf, I think is fine, right? Editing them to make them look like they have wings, I think those are fine. Don't be malicious, don't be criminal, and I think it should be fine. Okay. Um Personally, I think he edited his hair. And then another surprising revelation is that Jim said that he was baptized. He was already baptized. I don't think it was Catholic. So V was talking about studying Catholicism because he wanted a Catholic name. So he was talking about like, oh, there were like different names that you can choose from. And Jimin said, oh, I got baptized so that I can receive the blessing. There was the so I think it was like, what? Where did I come from? Okay, so I went through all of that because of several things. Number one, I just want to emphasize that um, let's be careful because our BTS reads, they are aware of what we post. Whatever narrative that we have, if there is any trend going on, they learn about it. And I don't think it is because they have a snitch. They probably have friends that are telling them about certain things, but I think it is them. They're actually on Twitter, they're on X, they're on IG, Facebook. They hear about these things. So let us be more careful. That's one. Second is that I think let's be a little bit kinder with this AI edits. If it is not malicious, leave it alone. What we should be going after are malicious stuff when you're sexualizing them, when you're putting them in situations and claiming that you saw them there when they're not. That's not cool. When you're making them, reinterpreting them to be doing something criminal, that's not cool. But if it's something fun, putting wings on Jin, making Jimin's hair longer, putting a halo on Jungkook, those are okay. We've always done that. We've always done that with Photoshop. Let's just continue to have fun. Obviously, BTS members find it fun themselves. Okay. Next is that leave the fan bases alone. For as long as they're not sassangs, leave them alone. Let them do their job and let's enjoy the concert. Put the phone down and continue enjoying the concerts. Okay. I thought it was funny that that they went to church for snacks. Yeah. So Jimin said that they actually went to the church for snacks, but like it was taking too long or something like that. It doesn't help when their AI is mistranslating. That yeah. So my advice always is to like lock into certain people that are translating already that you know are very reliable. There are some on YouTube and then there are some online that would do it. So once you find someone that's actually good in translating, then lock in on them because you at least know that they are reliable. Um, so yeah, I'm lucky because I have some friends that I can ask, but I'm sure that you guys have your own favorite translators. So lock in on them when it comes to translations. But having fun, let's just leave it alone. I think this discourse about NFTs being bad and AI being bad is so old. No technology is bad. There are a lot of people who are bad. And no matter how you try to stop the technology, it's just going to be replaced by something else if you don't stop bad people. I think that's the point. I think we should uh, point our energy towards stopping people that are being malicious instead of anything. Okay. Um, I'll give about 5 minutes for questions and then I'll move on to the next topic. AI is just a tool. Artists went from hand drawing to designing art with computer programs to AI. I missed a lot from this live. I fell asleep with them talking. That's the problem with some army. They follow the wrong accounts who see everything as black and white. There is no actual critical thinking. Personally, I think it's funny when they edit his hair. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Not now it's not no not Legolas, now it's Rapunzel. Law that is glad real hair, length hair. Didn't Tess say that he was going to retouch his back tattoo? He said, yeah. At the end of it, he said, when after J Hope said that he got a tattoo with me, V said that it needs a retouch. So I think he's gonna have it retouched. Does somebody else get excited at the beginning of every concert to see how Jimin is gonna style his hair, or is it just me? Oh, I'm excited. Especially, I think this hair is a genius. It should have his own manager. It should go on tour on its own. V said his tattoo needs a retouch. Yes. Okay. It's okay. Do you have questions before I go on to the next? I want a tattoo, but I cannot decide what picture I want. You know, V- Vegas is going to be a good place for you. There's a lot of tattoo parlors in there. I saw that. Oh. Okay, announcement. So Lee K, the artist whose muse is Jimin, is in the US. You can set up an appointment for a tattoo. So go to his account. You'll see a link on his profile and you can set up an appointment for a tattoo. He tattoos. So if you want, that's a world class artist right there that can do your tattoo. So that's a tip, Lee K. So I'm waiting for his exhibit. So I think it's going to be in LA on June. But yeah, okay. Can't wait to see Jimin hair. Sorry, my bias is Jimin's hair. I love Jimin's long blonde hair. My one rule for AI is that I refuse to watch any AI generated music, pass it off as real music. I am just glad I don't like social media. What do you think of armies criticizing Big Hit for not posting voting links for AMAs? Um, Nothing really. Uh, Oh, all this I think one thing that I've come to realize about Big Hit is it is not a perfect company. There are a lot of things that I would want them to do that they never do. Do I think it's malicious? Not necessarily. Is it incompetence? Partly. So that's how I think about it. Like you should post a voting link, you should post a member, you should post this, you should promote this, you should say something about this. There's a lot of that. At least 10 times in a day. Um but then I also know that there's a lot of things I don't know about, and they don't have an unlimited number of people working on things. And let's admit it, like this is what I do, and even I can catch up, and I'm not half as popular as BTS, not even a quarter, not even 1% of BTS's popularity. So it's not perfect, but I don't think it is malicious. Do I wish that they get more people to do more things? Sure. So, yeah. Okay. I really dislike AI in creative spaces. I respect that. It's just that it's inevitable. If you have Photoshop, if you use Google, that's AI. I think their appearance is just for reading nomination. Could be they could be presenting. Funny, I opened IG for BTS, but I only go click like when I see it on the FB group that I joined. Okay, next. Let's go. For those that are there, TXT has a live viewing. If you want to watch their MoaCon in Japan, you can actually watch it in cinemas. For fans of TXT out there, go check them out. For MOAs out there, go check them out. Um, you can buy tickets. I think so. Check Weavers. You can buy tickets now for the live viewing. Okay. Um, and then Cortis ended at number 3 on Billboard 200. So the initial prediction was number 5 or number 4. And they ended up at number 3. So they are one of the few groups that actually entered the top 5 of Billboard 200 in the first year. So the other two were Super M and New Jeans. So they got 8,300 no so 81,500 pure sales. That's how much they got. And then 5.91 million on demand streams, which totals to 87,000 units. But the highest count of albums is Super M. When they debuted, this is the group from SM. When they debuted at number 1 in Billboard 200, and they got 125,000 um in total sales. So on demand streams plus pure sales. And then I think it's New Jeans by, I can't remember, 89,000 maybe. Maybe. So yeah, so that would be, so they are one of the three groups that actually made it inside the top 5 of Billboard 200 in their first year. Okay, so that's their first Billboard 200 entry. So yeah, they are only third of the three groups that actually entered top 5 in their first year in Billboard 200. Congratulations. They also entered Billboard Artist 100. So they are at number 5. They are unbelievable. Cordis is unbelievable. So they got to number 5. This is their debut in Billboard Artist 100. And then Big Hit is auditioning for artists. So if you would remember, I don't know if you remember this, the audition that Suga joined to join Big Hit. So they revive it. This is it. So they're recruiting artists. They are recruiting producers, rappers, composers in Big Hit. So that's the audition. That's the announcement. So it is the same audition that Suga joined. After a long time, they are reviving it. Okay. Some of you wanted to give me you wanted me to give an update on the tickets of ESPA. It's almost the same. They kind of improved a little in California. As you can see, the floor seats are almost all gone. So now they just need to sell the second level. But for others, like I think this is for, I don't know, New York, somewhere, North Carolina. I can't read. It's the same. So there's still a lot of available tickets. I did not go through each of the venues. It looks the same. Um so this is Texas, I think. So the same, they haven't sold much. Uh I think at the end of it they're going to have to close the topmost floor. I don't think you would want your artist to do a concert where there's like 80% empty seats. So I think they're gonna close the topmost portion. That or give it away, but it's a lot of tickets to give away. Although that's not impossible. But yeah, that is Washington. Okay, I can't read. So someone said it's Washington? Okay. Washington DC. Yeah. So it's the same. So I think that's what's going to end up happening. They're going to have to ask people to go down and close the topmost floor. So I didn't go through the all the venues. It kind of looks the same. Okay, next is Daniel's legal team. So as you know, she has a pending case against Hybe and Adore, and this is the infringement of her exclusive contract. And she made a request, a recent request. She asked the judge that her trial be isolated, be different, be separated from the trial of Min Hee Jin and her mother. So she wants to be tried on her own, is what she's arguing. And essentially, her legal team is saying that if hers is separated, um, uh, why are people giving TXT such a hard time because of BTS but not Cortis? I have a theory. I will answer that after I do this. Remind me. Okay. So her legal team's argument is that her case is actually different from that of her mother and Min Hee Jin. That's their argument. They're saying that she got roped into this simply because Hybe wants to waste people's time. But if her trial is actually separated from that of her mother and Min Hee Jin, it's gonna go faster because this is the argument of her legal team. Because they don't have anything against her. She did not violate anything. Essentially saying it's actually her mother and Min Hee Jin who violated things. Something like that. Because then if her claim is that her mother did not violate anything, it would be the two of them requesting that their court case will be separated from Min Hee Jin. Okay. So she requested that. We don't know if the court is going to grant it. However, so essentially in the first trial of this case, Adore versus Min Hee Jin, Daniel's mother and Daniel herself, the legal team of Daniel kept on saying that you're delaying. They're talking to the prosecution, the Hybe team, you're delaying this case, and it's affecting the career of our client, of Daniel, because no company is going to work with her while this case is ongoing. Okay. Now, the legal team said, well, first they apologized for the delay, although they said that this is standard. They're not requesting any kind of delay that is more than the normal that lawyers are asking for. But they said primarily the delay is because the entire legal team resigned and they had to replace them with a new one. Okay. And they also said, made it very, very clear that Daniel is more than free to pursue any kind of activities on her own because they fired her. Okay. So this is the legal team of Hybe talking. They said she's free to work if she wants to work. We fired her. So we're not gonna go run after her, any of her income, if she pursues individual activities. We're gonna ask her to pay, but we're not gonna go after her if she pursue individual activities. And the allegedly the lawyers, her lawyers, became so fired up that they actually told the prosecution, the lawyers of Hybe, why are we the ones talking first? Like, you should talk because you're the ones that are accusing our client. We're not going to talk anymore, something like that. You say something and then we're going to respond because the burden of proof is on you. Okay, that's what they're saying. Now, the problem is that, and so Hybe kept on emphasizing that she can pursue activities. We're not going to stop her. They kept on emphasizing that. The problem is that it has already been almost 6 months. So her contract was terminated, or at least publicly announced, December 29 of 2025. And she said, and it is now already almost June, right? So middle of May, and she's still not resuming her activities. So many are asking, maybe there is some veracity to what Min Hee-jin claimed. And her claim is that they're actually nothing without me. If I am not the one managing New Jeans, they're nothing. Remember, Min Hee-jin actually said that in the press conference. It was also in her Kakao Talk messages. So what if she's right? What if she's right? That these five girls really became popular because of her. Because I don't think it is the legal case that's getting in the way of other labels signing her or brands signing her. Because even in the heat of their battle against Hybe, she was doing work with YG. She was doing Nike brand partnership. She was doing Omega partnership. And now that she's absolutely free, brands are suddenly going to stop working with her and no label is interested in working with her. So what if, just what if, Min Hee-jin is actually right when she said, the girls are nothing without me? Okay. Um, Joyful One said, this may be an unpopular opinion, but I think MHG is right. But if she's right, let's just assume that she's right. Imagine the implication to the girls. Imagine being told that you're nothing without that one person who's actually boosting your popularity. Now, a lot of us won't actually even waste our time thinking about it. Put that situation to BTS. What if Bang Shi-yuk said early in the days of BTS, what if he says, RM, Suga, J-Hope, Jin, V, Jimin, and Jungkook are nothing without me? How would we feel? What if he was the one who said they wouldn't be popular if it wasn't because of me? And that's essentially what she's saying about the girls, that the girls are nothing without her. And with what's happening with Daniel, isn't she being proven right? Right? Because she's not doing any kind of work. And Hybe is not getting in the way. Brands worked with her even while they were actually in the middle of the case against Hybe, while they were terminating their contract. Brands were working with her. So what changed between then and now that she's free, is won't the brands, in principle, think about it, won't the brands now have more freedom to work with her now that her contract has been terminated. Okay. All right. I disagree on that point. I believe those girls damaged their integrity to the degree that no one could trust them to uphold their end of the contract. But they were working with her while they were still while they were in the middle of their lawsuit versus Hybe. She was still working with many brands and she was working with YG. And now that she's free, why would they suddenly stop? Okay, so Min Hee-jin publicly stated that she is the reason NewJeans is very popular. So what if she's actually right? Now, here is an interesting thing. So she said this that the girls are not popular because of her, that the success of NewJeans is all because of her. Now, the interesting thing is that, as you know, Hybe and Adore plus Min Hee-jin and the members of NewJeans were sued by a group of composers saying that their top line would be melody and lyrics, were stolen by Min Hee-jin, NewJeans, Adore, and Hybe for How Sweet, the last, I believe that is the last single that they released. So they said that they were given the beat and they were asked to do the top line. So top line again is melody and lyrics, which they did, gave it back to Adore, only for them to be informed that it was not chosen. And then it was released and they realized it's identical to what they did. So now they're suing Adore, Hybe, NewJeans member, and Min Hee-jin for copyright. Okay, now Min Hee-jin went to the court and said, you should take me out of this lawsuit. You should take me out of this lawsuit because I'm not responsible for the music. I'm just the CEO. That's what she said. She said in her request, so this is the document. There's a lot of pages in that document. So she said that it's actually Bana who created the song. She's just the CEO of the group. And that, but it's okay for the five members to get sued because they took part in writing the lyrics, is what she said. So she filed a motion to dismiss the lawsuit against her case. And she said, I'm not a poser or a lyricist. I'm only a producer who has nothing to do with copyright. She's requesting that she be taken out of the lawsuit. Okay. So again, this is just part of it's a really long document. And in the lawsuit, it says that the members of NewJeans, owns or controls in whole or in part exclusive rights to How Sweet. Members co-authored How Sweet, and then the name of the member has written agreements regarding the ownership and exploitation of How Sweet with entities located in this judicial district, including Hybe. Okay, so they're saying that they are including the members in this lawsuit because they co-wrote and they signed off on the song. Okay. Um, this is her statement. As a former CEO of Adore, corporate officers can face. Sorry, so this is not her statement. This is what the defense that she's using on why she shouldn't be included in the lawsuit. So they can face personal liability in copyright cases if they had direct involvement in or knowledge or oversight over the song. She's saying that she has no oversight on the song and that she has no direct involvement in the creation of the song. So I'm assuming that she's also hinting she did not approve the song. Because if she did, then she would have liability. Okay. Um, so she said that as a producer, creative producers often share responsibility if they contributed to the composition, which she did not do. So she's saying, nope, I'm not a part of that. She was, according to her, the chief creative architect of NewJeans, heavily involved in concept direction, deeply involved in music selection and production oversight, and publicly positioned as the central creative authority behind Adore. This was before the lawsuit. She's changing it now. She's just saying that she has nothing to do with the creatives of NewJeans, and she's just a CEO of the company. Okay. That means plaintiffs may argue that she had it because of her previous claims that she's the chief architect, creative architect of NewJeans. The plaintiffs, the ones that sued, are now arguing you have supervisory authority, materially contributed to the alleged infringed work, and approved or released it despite similarities. Therefore, you should be in the case. Now she's denying that she has anything to do with any of that. So the big question that the lawsuit that this plaintiffs will have to prove is whether or not she actually participated enough to create liability in the case. If they are able to prove that, then it is possible that she will be made liable. But right now, she's saying she doesn't have anything to do with that. So there's a major difference between general executive oversight versus active creative participation. So let's see what's going to happen. But right now, her request is to actually be removed from the case. Okay. Um, I've discussed all of that. Okay. Before I go into the groups right now and the market where they are strongest, I'm going to answer the question about TXT on why they were targeted and Cordis is not being targeted. I think in large part because of timing. That's definitely number one. Um, Now, BTS is kind of operating in a different plane. They are so far removed from everybody else, everyone in K-pop, and to a certain degree also removed from Hybe itself. Like they exist in isolation. They're in their own league. They are, despite the attempts, you simply cannot compare them to anybody anymore. The distance is so wide. Um, that's one. Second is that precisely because of TXT, that Cordis is actually enjoying the praises. Because when TXT is very, 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 very successful, if you remove BTS as a standard, TXT would probably be second, sometimes number one, as the biggest group in Korea, right? Correct? Okay, the other one would be Stray Kids. Okay. So they're very, very successful. But of course, they're nowhere near the success of BTS. Okay. Okay. So then it has been established that association to BTS will not guarantee your success. Right? Because of them. So then people has that in their mind that just because they're associated to BTS doesn't mean that they're going to be successful. So that means they're more open to giving Cordis a break. Third, their identity are so different from big BTS. TXT inherited the narrative. They followed the creation of the alternative universe, which other groups are now starting to do. TXT did that. So there's a similarity. Cordis is just way too different. So that's, I think, why people are more forgiving of Cordis than they are of TXT. Right? Okay. If you want me to do a video on that, let me know. Okay. So these are the biggest markets of each group. I chose some of the groups. Let me know. So, and then for the paid members, I'm going to present you the actual study here. This was done by Billboard, Rolling Stone, not Reuters, Nielsen. Okay, so right now, Cordis is actually um, bigger in the US than they are in South Korea. It's not even close. When it comes to streaming, when it comes to sales of their merch, albums, they are bigger in the US than they are in South Korea. Unique buyers. Okay. So they're biggest in the US. Next is in Latin America. So I think at some point, very, very soon, they're going to go for a push in Latin America. And then South Korea is third, and then Thailand, and then Japan. My only issue about Thailand is that there's a lot of streaming farms there. It's very possible that a lot of their fans are actually doing stream party in Thailand. So we don't know. We will know once the physical album sales actually come out and how much of it is going to Thailand. They're not so big in Japan yet, primarily because they haven't really prepared, they haven't really promoted there. But one of the most surprising thing is that they're actually biggest in the US. and it's not even close. Not even close. Um, Not that they have not promoted, they did a lot of promotion in the first album. They went to NBA, they went to Red Bull, Spotify, Rolling Stone, not Rolling Stone, Apple Music. So they did a lot of promotions there, but not enough actually for me to expect such a big turnout in the US. So it's going to be interesting to see how they're going to be promoting them in the future in the US, because that's that's pretty amazing. The only other group whose US market is bigger than that of their South Korean market is BTS. Well, sorry, no, less Seraphim as well. So there are only three groups whose market is bigger in the US than the market that they have in South Korea. BTS, and that is like, as I've said, different, and then Cordis, and then Le Seraphim. Okay. Next for Le Seraphim, they are biggest in Japan because of obvious reasons. You have Sakura in your they have Sakura in their group, and then Kazuha is also from Japan. So that's kind of expected. And then US. Okay, so they're bigger in the US than they are in South Korea. In fact, South Korea did not even enter the top 5 for the Seraphim. Isn't that surprising? They didn't even enter top 5. I was kind of surprised about China because I did not expect the Seraphim's music to actually hit it in China, but right? So okay, so Japan, US, Latin America, and they are going to do a show in Latin America, China, and Thailand. I don't have membership in Cat's Eye, so I wasn't able to do pre membership, like members only ticketing. I don't know if I can get any for the general sale. Okay, I'll get to Stray Kids. Someone was asking about Stray Kids. I'll get there. So as for the Seraphim, they're bigger in Japan and US and Latin America. South Korea didn't even enter their top 5. This is for ITZY. They're biggest in South Korea and then Japan and then the United States. Actually, this is kind of a cheat, because the when it comes to certain groups, they kind of combine North America. They kind of combine um, Canada. Well, they kind of combine Canada, US, and Europe. So it kind of feels bigger. But if it is just the US, they won't be in the top 5. So Philippines and Indonesia, Brazil and Mexico, and then the West. So they have a huge physical market in Japan. I think that's to be expected, and also in South Korea. But they aren't the as I've said, the US market is kind of like a cheat because they combine it with Europe. Okay, next. For Twice, Japan, they are the biggest in Japan, and then the US. Uh, the US and the South Korean gap is pretty big now, which is surprising because they used to be the darling of South Korea when they launched. They were like the biggest in the beginning, but I think because they evolved, they grew up, um, a lot of their music didn't really cater to the GP anymore, so they kind of lost the GP. They're actually bigger in the US, both in streams, physical sales, and in concerts, than they are in South Korea. Okay, and then they have a huge following in the Philippines, huge, gigantic. Taiwan, Indonesia, and Thailand, those three combined becomes number 5. Okay. Um, And then for ESPA, they're big in South Korea, dominant, more than 60%, I think, or even 70%. And then Japan, Indonesia, and the Philippines because of YouTube. So this could be a little, well, I guess they're kind of big in Indonesia and the Philippines, and then Brazil, Mexico, and Thailand. They do have a growing Latin American market. If you look at the chart, it's actually going up in the last um, 12 months. I'm not quite sure why, but they're kind of becoming big in Latin America as well. But South Korea, the gap between South Korea, Japan, and the rest, it's so big. Like they, and then US is not even in the top 10. US is not even in the top 10. Okay. And then for TXT, they actually have a big US market. And then South Korea, which is their core dominant market, and then Japan. After that, Indonesia and the Philippines, Brazil and Mexico. The United States is kind of similar to ITZY. It is actually combined with Europe and the whole of Americas. Okay. Next, Stray Kids. Who was asking about Stray Kids? They are the biggest in the US. They are bigger in the US than they are in South Korea. And this one, it's just the US for Stray Kids. So US is bigger than South Korea by far. Their market is bigger in the US. And then after that, Thailand, Indonesia, Vietnam, and Brazil. And then combined South Korea, Mexico, and Philippines, they will enter top 5. If you isolate just South Korea, they aren't so big in South Korea. Okay. That's the last. So for the um members only live stream, I'll present you the actual statistics and you'll see how the study was actually conducted. And then if there's any group who's you are interested in knowing, then let me know. I'll feature them as well. Okay. I don't know why people categorize. I did not include Cat's Eye here because they're not K-pop. They are using the K-pop model. And Hypen. Okay, I'll include N Hypen. Let me know who. Do you want to see Evan? We don't have statistics yet for Evan. RIIZE. Okay, I'll include RIIZE and Hypen. Let me know who else you want. But it's interesting actually how um as I've said, I always like when it comes to BTS, like they're a different discussion. I definitely don't consider them K-pop anymore. So, but just in K-pop, it was surprising to see the numbers that the US is actually racking in for Cordis. There's something there. Um, so it would be interesting to actually see their first tour, how soon they're gonna go on their first tour. Martin said that they're preparing their third album, and that's probably because they want to have enough songs to perform for an entire concert. I mean, these are how many songs? Like 12? They have 12 songs now. It's not enough for an entire concert. Maybe for a fan con or something like that. Would Big Bang have numbers? See, they have numbers. I can include Big Bang. Yes. Let me know who else. I can include them. Um, okay. I will include them. What groups do South Korea like most? SM groups. They dominate that. They dominate SM groups. In fact, majority SM actually has sort of mastered the South Korean market and the Japanese market, and that's what's actually keeping them afloat. They know that market so well. So almost every group that they have launched actually became successful in Japan and in South Korea. Somehow they know how to tickle the South Korean market. Coming time for Cordis to do a full length album. How about ILLIT? Okay, I'll include ILLIT. SKGP usually go for girl groups. The GP they go for girl groups, but when it comes to sales, boy groups still dominate primarily because the they still need depth for the albums to sell. Surprisingly, they have numbers. G Dragon and Taeyang especially are still loved by SK. They are loved by SK. That is true, but it's more like they're not very popular in GP in South Korea. Taeyang is. Do you know the percentage of numbers of different markets? It used to be 50 US. It used to be 50% US, 25 Japan, and then the rest. Yes, I have that. I'll present that to you. ATEEZ is a strong group. I can include them as well. Blackpink, I can include them. I'll include all of those. Okay. So, well, I have 6 minutes. Do you have questions? Good night, everyone. Love you. Okay, she's good night, Rachel. Okay, I have 7 minutes. If you have questions, 6 minutes. If you have questions, I'll answer them. So I will be in Las Vegas tomorrow. My mom and I are gonna drive. We'll see if we can drop by any CK store. If there is any, I'll buy something, something from his collection if they still have any. My guess is in, isolated places, maybe there will be some. I don't think they have any in Las Vegas anymore, but I certainly will try. I will be helping out. I know that the community actually prepared a lot of giveaways for everyone, for those that are going to be in the suite. So I'll be helping out in packing on Friday. And then I will see you guys on Saturday, I think. That's the first day. And then I will go around for BTS the city. Please do not make sure please make sure that you register for some of the activities in BTS the city. Some of them you actually need to take a time slot. Do you think BTS Stanford concert will affect the perception of the group? I Yes. So one of the advantages of the Stanford concert is that they were able to pull a lot of non-armies, like people that just were curious about BTS, and they were actually able to convert them. I guess that's like the advantage. The other thing is that the press actually went to party with that, and almost all the reviews were actually stunning for BTS. So that definitely played a part. So although people are saying I'm not there, I can't really judge, but some people are saying they weren't as loud as Mexico. At least you have casual fans becoming armies, or casual fans admitting that the concert is actually of a different energy. So it will be affected in a good way. In a good way. Okay. How do you feel about the same concert date of Le Seraphim and Baby Monster? Um, that I actually have a YouTube episode about that. So I think it's very interesting what YG is doing with Baby Monster. I think Yang Yun Sok has this is struggling to separate from his legacy strategy in promoting his groups. He feels that the marketing strategy that he used with Blackpink and 21 and Big Bang will yield the same result now. And I just don't think it will. I'm talking about Fake It Till You Make It. Baby Monster is definitely popular, but I think he's overestimating it. Now, used to be not a problem because he's been able to use the Fake It Till You Make It strategy. I don't think it's going to yield the same result now, primarily because just the market is different, technology is different, it's easier to expose things. You have way more options. So I don't think it's going to yield the same result. But Yang Yun Suk is a great marketer. If there's anybody who can pull this off, it would be him. So I do not think necessarily that having the same concert dates would be a threat to either one of them. I think those are two different markets. But I do think that Yang Yun Suk actually has to change his strategy when it comes to the group, has to learn how to present a different concept with the other groups that he's going to have. And also, he im- released a statement. He released a statement specifically saying that the reason Baby Monster has not been signed by any brand, because that has been his game, right? Like he likes brand partnerships. And I don't need to explain why, because you know how the brand partnerships benefited the members of Blackpink, the members of Big Bang. And he said that. And so when it wasn't coming for Baby Monster, people are starting to wonder, why aren't you getting brand partnerships with them? Why aren't brands interested in them? And his answer was that, oh, they are interested. I'm not. That was his interest. That was his response. The reason I'm not signing them up with any kind of partnership is that I want them to concentrate on music. Okay. I call BS, but um I think Blackpink is so strong of a brand that brands are still gravitating towards Blackpink rather than going for others. And if you're a brand, why, and this is the same concept. Blackpink has the same concept as Baby Monster. So if I'm the brand, why am I going to go for Baby Monster? I can just go for Jenny. I can just go for Lisa, for Jisoo, for Rose. It's the same concept. They're still young. You do remember, for Western brands in the Western culture, 30 is young, right? So them being near their 30s, it's not a concern for a lot of US brands, a lot of luxury brands, because that's still very young. And I think that's one thing that Yang Yun Sok has not been able to sort of marry. I think brands would rather go for Jenny than go for Baby Monster, because it's the same branding, and they will, at least with Jenny or any of the members of Blackpink, they're sure of the kind of success that they're going to get. Okay. All right. That's it. I'm excited to meet you and Debak. I'm excited to meet you all too. How long BP brand going for last though? Good question. Good question. Good question. I think the girls are trying their best to maintain their branding. They're doing a good job, by the way. Lisa is doing a good job. Jenny is doing a good job at it. Um, in their current state, I think they still have about 5 years to go in their current state. Now, that could change, right? They do something in their career, something hits, that could extend. But if this is it for them, like in terms of popularity and whatever, I think they have a good 5 year run ahead of them. Unless something happens, then that can extend. Um, 21 is about talents, not brand. Not to downplay the success of Baby Monster, but I've been frustrated with the number of times their song appear in my ad when I already blocked them. Please include Isna. Isna. Ah, okay, yes. So I love Are You Next Girls. I want all of them to succeed. Okay. I don't know if I'll be able to go online for members only tomorrow. I will try. Only because I'm going to prepare, like, there's a lot of preparations when it comes to my dog. So I'll try to go online for the members only, because I might not be able to do that once we are in Vegas. But let's see. I will announce it as always, either early in the morning or late at night. Okay, thank you everybody. I'll see you very very soon. Bye.